The John Denver mystery finally solved. It's not good news. John Denver was born Henry John Deutschendorf Jr. on December 3, 1943 in Roswell, New Mexico. He grew up in a military family. His dad was a U.S. Air Force pilot. Denver lived a life where his family moved around a lot across the country. These early years made him feel like he never stayed in one place long, but also gave him a deep love for the big, beautiful lateral places of America. These feelings would later show up in the songs he wrote. John Denver's love for music started when he was young. He got his first guitar from his grandmother when he was 11 years old. That simple gift changed his whole life. He was inspired by singers like Elvis Presley and folk musicians from the 1960s. Denver learned to make his own musical style while went to Texas Tech University. Later, he moved to Los Angeles to make it as a musician. He changed his name to Denver because he loved Colorado's capital city. That state meant a lot to him, and he often sang about it in his songs. Denver's big moment came in 1969 when he wrote "Leaving on a Jet Plane." The song became a huge hit for Peter, Paul and Mary. The song's success showed everyone he was a great songwriter. Soon he started performing his own songs too. During the 1970s, John Denver became famous all around the world with a bunch of popular hits like "Take Me Home, Country Roads," Annie's song "Rocky Mountain High," "Sunshine on My Shoulders," and "Thank God I'm a Country Boy." These songs touched people's hearts and celebrated America's beautiful nature and human feelings. He mixed folk, country, and pop music together to create a sound that everyone could recognize. It was marked by Denver's warm singing voice and acoustic guitar. John Denver wasn't just a famous singer and songwriter. He was also a talented entertainer who acted in many movies and TV shows throughout the 1970s and 1980s. One of his most famous acting jobs was in the 1977 hit movie, "Oh God," where he acted alongside the legendary funny man, George Burns. The movie made lots of money and showed Denver's natural charm and warmth beyond just his musical talents. His gentle, honest way of acting on screen worked perfectly with Burns' humor, helping to make "Oh God" a beloved classic that mixed comedy with thoughtful ideas. Besides this movie, Denver's appearance in TV specials and other screen projects showed his popularity and his ability to connect with audiences through different types of media during the best years of his career. While many people remember John Denver mostly as a musician, making new music well into the 1990s, he kept changing his sound while staying true to the folk and country music that had made him famous. During this time, his work, more and more, showed his growing love for taking care of the environment. Denver was a strong supporter of protecting natural places and wildlife. He often used his music and public fame to teach people about problems with nature. He fought for conservation efforts and living in ways that don't hurt the earth. He believed deeply that we need to keep the earth safe for kids in the future. Besides caring about the environment, Denver was a loud supporter of space exploration. He was fascinated by humanity's ability to explore outer space. This interest went beyond just being curious. He used his voice and fame to encourage people to support funding and public support for NASA and other space programs. He saw exploration as an important step for human progress. John Denver also made a big impact by taking a stand against censor in music, at a time when some musicians faced pressure to change their art or have their songs banned from radio. Denver spoke before the United States Congress to protest censorship and fight for artistic freedom. His speech showed his commitment to creative expression and his belief that music should be a way for truth, inspiration, and connection with being stopped by unfair rules. Denver's involvement in these political and social issues showed a deeper side to his public image, one of principled activism and civic engagement began in his career in entertainment. A big part of John Denver's identity was his deep love for Colorado, a state whose natural beauty deeply influenced his music and LaFesto. He chose to live in Aspen, Colorado for most of his adult life, finding inspiration in the amazing Rocky Mountains and the lively outdoor community there. Aspen was more than just a place to live. It was a source of renewal and creative energy for Denver, who often wrote songs celebrating Theria's landscapes and spirit. Because of his cultural contritions and his embodiment of Colorado's spirit, Denver was named the official poet laureate of the state in 1974. This honor recognized his role in making Colorado's image better and sharing its beauty through his lyrical storytelling. Denver's connection to Colorado was made permanent through his music, especially with the song Rocky Mountain High, which captured the wonder and respect he felt for the mountain sand wilderness. This song was so deeply connected with the state and its identity that in 2007, the Colorado State Legislature officially made Rocky Mountain High one of its 2 state songs. The choice celebrated not only Denver's artistry, but also the song's power to bring out the spirit of Colorado's natural environment. Similarly, his song, Take Me Home, Country Roads, became an anthem for West Virginia, showing a heartfelt nostalgia and sense of home that people far beyond Denver's own roots. In 2014, West Virginia honored the song by making it one of its official state songs, further cementing John Denver's lasting legacy in American music and culture. Denver was not just a musician, but a passionate advocate for environmental protection and humanitarian causes. He used his fame as a platform to teach people about conservation, world hunger, and peace in the 1970s and 1980s. He started the WinStar Foundation, an organization dedicated to environmental education and sustainability. He also worked as a spokesman for UNI's Fund, worked very hard on behalf of global humanitarian efforts. His music often showed his ideals, celebrating thirst, promoting love and unity, and asking listeners to protect the world around them. Denver's charming presence extended beyond the recording studio and concert stage. He was a popular television personality, hosting shows like the John Denver Special, where his warm, friendly manner and genuine connection with audiences shone brightly. He also tried acting and appeared in several films and television specials, further showing his versatile talents and appeal. John Denver's first marriage was to Annie Martell in 1967. Annie, originally from St. Peter, Minnesota, was not only Denver's life partner, but also his muse and inspiration for some of his most lasting music. Their relationship grew at a time when Denver was still a new artist, and Annie's presence brought him emotional stability, made the early challenges of a growing career. One of the most famous songs inspired directly by Annie was Annie's song, a heartfelt ballad he wrote in an amazingly short amount of time. Just 10 minutes while sitting on a ski lift in Colorado. This quick burst of creative genius perfectly captured how deep his love and appreciation for Annie was, expressing a peaceful and deep connection to Heron, the natural beauty surrounding them. From 1968 until 1971, the couple met at their home in Edina, Minnesota, suburban setting that was different from Denver's later love for the mountains, but provided a stable base during his rise to fame. As Denver's career took off, especially after their release of the famous Rocky Mountain High, his love for the outdoors and the mountains grew deeper. This particular song was inspired by a memorable camping trip he took with Annie and close friends, an experience that brought back his passion for nature and became a central theme in much of his music and public identity. Because of this connection, Denver bought a home in Aspen, Colorado, a place that represented the rugged natural landscape he loved and would call home for the rest of his life. Aspen became a sanctuary for Denver, a place where he could get away from the pressures of fame and surround himself in the beauty of the Rocky Mountains. The Denvers grew their family through adoption, bringing 2 children into their lives. a son Amid Zachary John and a daughter named Donna Kate. Denver often talked about how these adoptions felt like destiny, saying that Zachary and Anna Kate were meant to be theirs, suggesting a deep spiritual connection and sense of repose in their family life. Denver's identity as a father was very important to him. In his own words, he would say, "I'll tell you the best thing about me. I'm some guy's dad. I'm some little gal's dad. When I die, Zachary, John, and Anna Kate's father. Boy, that's enough for me to be remembered by." That's more than enough. This statement showed the core of his values, that beyond the music and the fame, being a devoted father was the legacy he treasured most. Zachary even inspired Denver's song, "A Baby Just Like You," which includes the warm, tender line, "Merry Christmas, Little Zachary," a track Denver originally wrote for Frank Sinatra, but deeply connected to his personal life. Despite the love and family they built together, John Denver and Annie Martell's marriage eventually came to an end in 1982. The pressures and demands of Denver's skyrocketing career played a big role in their separation. In an honest 1983 interview featured in the documentary John Denver, Country Boy 2013, Denver thought back that the constant demands of his career had driven a wedge between them, making it hard to maintain the closeness and intimacy that had once defined their relationship. Annie Martell later shared her perspective, noting that they were simply too young and immature to handle the sudden fame and lifestyle changes that John's success brought. Their divorce was not only emotional, but symbolically marked by a memorable moment. To show the dividing of their shared possessions, Denver cut their marital bed in half with a chainsaw. This dramatic act showed the raw and painful reality of their split as well as Denver's complex, sometimes impulsive personality. After several years, Denver found love again, marrying Australian actress Cassandra Delaney in 1988 following a 2-year courtship. Their relationship seemed promising as they settled into Denver's beloved home in Aspen, Colorado. The couple welcomed a daughter named Jessie Bell, adding another chapter to Denver's life as a father. However, the marriage was short-lived, with the couple separating in 1991 and finalizing their divorce. In 1993, Denver's feelings about his second marriage were notably honest and somewhat bitter. He once said that for our short-lived marriage ended in divorce, she managed to make a fool of him from one end of the valley to the other. This statement hinted at the personal difficulties and emotional turmoil he experienced during their relationship, showing a more complicated and painful side of his private life that was different from the gentle, nature-loving public personality Hesh. Through his music, for decades the sudden and tragic death of John Denver remained covered in a mix of confusion, speculation, and unanswered questions. Fans and observers alike wondered what really happened on that terrible day in October 1997, when the beloved singer-songwriter, known for his gentle voice, heartfelt lyrics, and deep connection to nature, lost his life in a plane crash. Now, after years of investigation, insider revelations, and careful analysis of the events leading up to the accident, the mystery has finally been solved. But the truth, as it turns out, is far more upsetting than anyone expected. John Denver was a split pilot, but on October 12, 1997, while flying his own experimental aircraft, the Rutan Long-Ease, something went horribly wrong. At first, the official reports pointed to pilot error or mechanical failure, but over time, more complex details came out. Investigators revealed that Denver had been struggling with certain critical cockpit control issues, specifically the fuel selector valve in the wrong position, which led to fuel starvation. This caused the engine to fail mid-flight, resulting in the crash into the Pacific Ocean off California's coast. However, further examination deeper problems. The plan itself had design flaws that were not fully told about or understood, and the safety features were not good enough. John Denver had reportedly complained about troubles with the fuel system before flight, but had not received proper guidance or repairs. This carelessness and the lack of proper support from the aircraft's manufacturer contributed significantly to the fatal accident beyond the mechanical causes. The mystery also extends to John Denver's personal life in the years before his death. While publicly he was known for his upbeat songs and environment tactics, behind the scenes he faced significant struggles. He battled emotional turmoil, the pressures of fame, and complicated personnel relationships, including a difficult divorce that left lasting scars. Some reports suggest he was dealing with bouts of depression and was under immense stress, factors that might have impacted his judgment on that day. Though speculation about substance abuse has circulated, there has never been concrete evidence to implicate drugs or alcohol in the crash. Instead, that tragedy appears to be a perfect storm as technical failure and human frailty, an unkind intersection that claimed the life of a man who inspired millions. One of the most distressing aspects of this revelation is how it complicates legacy of John Denver. For years, fans have held on to an image of him as wholesome, nature-loving troubadour who lived harmoniously with the world. But knowing that ignored safety warnings and possible lapses in judgment contributed to his death adds a bitter edge to the narrative. Moreover, some critics argued that the tragedy could have been prevented had Denver been given proper training, better equipment, or more thorough inspections of his aircraft. This raises uncomfortable cases about responsibility and accountability, not only for the pilot, but for the aviation industry's regulation of experimental planes. The final solution to the John Denver mystery serves as a cautionary tale on multiple fronts. For fans, it's a painful reminder that fame and talent don't protect anyone from human vulnerabilities or unforeseen dangers. For the aviation community, it underscores the critical importance of rigorous safety standards, transparent communication about aircraft risks, and thorough pilot education, especially for those flying experimental or home-built planes. In recent years, John Denver's story has inspired renewed advocacy for better pilot training and stricter oversight of light aircraft, aiming to prevent similar tragedies in the future. The lessons learned from this somber case are a legacy in their own right, ensuring that the tragic mystery does not repeat itself with other pilots or aviation enthusiasts.